What is going on? If you are watching this video, it is because you are interested in understanding how healing childhood trauma actually works. So what I'm going to do is give you like a super quick explanation like that. And then I'm going to actually give you a whiteboard breakdown to understand this fully so you actually have some next action steps to do for yourself. Because I promise you, having done this for people for, or not for, but with people for 8 years, I can tell you, you don't need decades of therapy. Like, I'm not going to rant about that because that's not what this is about, but you don't need that. So, 50,000 foot view, this is what happens. We go through experiences in life, painful and pleasurable, right? We go through great experiences and super painful experiences. And what happens is your nervous system needs to decide, okay, these were pleasurable. I want more experiences like that. And therefore, we create beliefs like, oh, when I drink coffee, that feels good, right? So now the belief is this coffee will give me feelings of comfort. It'll give me feelings of relaxation. It'll give me feelings of like that buzz of caffeine, right? It feels good. And we believe because of that, I want more of that. So what do we keep doing throughout our life? Probably drink more caffeine, right? If we have a painful experience where we are, this is adult language here, but I'm just being truthful. If we are sexually abused, let's say by our father at 16 years old or 10 years old, whatever it might be, and if you've been through that, I only have compassion and love for you. I just want you to be able to heal properly and effectively so you can get back to your life. This is what we need to understand. That's a very, very painful experience emotionally. And during that experience, your brain had to ask one question. How can I avoid this pain in the future? I refuse to have this pain again. It was so fucking painful. How can I avoid it? And the way that human beings avoid future pain is by developing a belief about the experience. So the belief about that experience might be men are rapists. Who know? What's more common would be like men aren't trustworthy, or my dad's not trustworthy, or I will always be abused in relationship, or sex is just for people to take advantage of me, or just men are assholes. It can be super generalized and vague like that. But the point of the matter is, there's a belief, or two or three or four, that you developed in the moment of extreme pain. And the point of them was so that the next time you see any sort of individual, not individual, any slight sign that you're about to be abused again, you will snap into fight or flight, which often looks like having a panic attack, right? So then they don't go near you. That protects you. Or, and I said I would give you the cliff notes, but I'm basically giving you the whole thing and then we'll break it down a little bit more. But the essence of this is you're going to develop a belief in that moment to protect you from the future pain. And in that, like I said, you might have a panic attack, you might get super angry, right? So you can fight the threat, or you can try to, avoid it, or you just freeze. And some people do this. They just freeze, and their strategy they developed in the moment is, I'm just going to let this happen, so it's over as quick as possible. A lot of people, this is a side note, I'm not going to get too far into it. A lot of people will develop multiple personalities. So the only way, their belief is the only way out of pain is if that wasn't me who experienced that. And you can do many types of therapies to heal from this, so to speak. But the point of the matter is, we need to change our beliefs that we developed from that experience. So, getting back to my point, you and I, over our lifetime, will have really good, pleasurable experiences and really bad, painful experiences. Whatever you decide to believe was painful and pleasurable, the pleasurable ones you will develop beliefs about to move towards them, aka that coffee makes me feel really good, I'm going to keep drinking more of it. Or having sex feels so amazing, I'm going to keep having more of it. Or, oh my God, love is so beautiful and amazing and I love it. So you keep having experiences that lead you to connecting with people and loving them, and being loved. Um, some of us realize that Sex is painful, and so we avoided it like the plague or COVID-19, right? Some of us believe that sugar is the devil. Sugar's painful and it'll degrade your health, so we don't go near it. The point of the matter is pain and pleasure determine everything you do right now, everything. And so back to the childhood trauma piece. Let's say we're going to stay on that scenario. Let's say you were abused by your father, and the belief that you decided to develop in that moment to protect yourself from future pain like that is that men are abusive. Let's pretend that was the belief. What happens is, let's say now that happened when you were 10. Now you're 15 and you're starting to be interested in boys. What happens is physiologically, right? Your spirit, your emotions, your nervous system, everything about you physiologically is attracted to boys or men, right? If that's your sexuality. And so you'll start to kind of get into relationships. And then at some point, when it seems like it might be moving towards intimacy, you're going to quote unquote self-sabotage or quote unquote have a panic attack or quote unquote push them away or quote unquote get angry at them, whatever. But you're not just doing that because you're broken or because of your childhood trauma. At this point, it has nothing to do with the trauma you went through. It has to do with the belief that you developed or the beliefs, multiple, that you developed in order to protect yourself from future pain like you experienced before. So what we need to do is uncover what those beliefs are, and we need to break them, and then we need to move forward by replacing them. So here's what this looks like. When I work with my clients, 9 times out of 10, I don't know what they've experienced. And that's on purpose. I don't want to know. It's all for you. It's all for you. You don't need to tell me. You shouldn't fucking need to tell me or any other therapist. You can. Don't get me wrong. You can if you need somebody to express it all to get it off your chest. That is therapeutic in nature. What I'm suggesting is that you don't need to keep talking about it in order to heal it. Getting it out there and having it met with that information met with safety, that is important. But I mean the talking about it over and over and over and over, like that literally gets you nowhere. You just keep replaying it in your mind and you keep feeling it in your body. You keep re-experiencing it. That's zero fucking helpful. So what we have to do, when I'm with my clients, I will ask them, because typically we come up with a goal and they want to say attract a man, as an example. I usually don't know what specifically happened, but I'll ask them, how do you feel when you get into a relationship with men or when you go to be intimate or whatever it is? How do you feel when XYZ around men or relationship? And they'll say angry or resentful or anxiety or whatever it might be or panic. And I know, because I'm pretty good at this, that they would have had needed to have experiences that were painful in order to develop those beliefs. You don't just develop, or sorry, they would have needed to have painful experiences with men or relationship or sex and intimacy in order to develop belief systems that are making them feel this way. That's what I meant to say. And so with that in mind, I asked them, how do you feel when you're trying to be intimate, when you're getting into a relationship, when the relationship hits a certain point, so to speak? And they'll say anxious, angry, resentful, panic, whatever it might be. And I say, okay, what would you need to believe is going to happen to you in order to be feeling this way? What would you need to believe in order to feel this way? And they'll tell me their limiting belief. That's where in personal development we call it limiting beliefs. It's not some like fairy like fuzzy like, oh, tell me your limiting beliefs and we'll just do some personal development. No, it's what are the beliefs that you acquired over time when you had painful experiences in order to protect yourself from shit like this happening again, which is great. Then they'll say, I just believe that they're going to take advantage of me, or I believe that they're just using me for sex and pleasure, or I believe that blah, blah, blah. When we question this enough, you're going to feel less certain about it because your brain generalizes. It deletes a lot of references. It ignores a lot of references in order to maintain your reality that men are abusive or men are going to take advantage of you or whatever. You might have men being great to you all the time, but because you're believing that men are going to take advantage, you don't see it as them being kind to you and caring. You see it as, what do they want? And so you get pissed at them even though they're being nice. It's reinforcing everything. So we question this enough. We notice where people are actually being loving. It starts to invalidate this belief a little bit and make it a bit shaky, which is good. We need to see number one, what was the positive intention behind this limiting belief? Thank your unconscious mind for that. Second, invalidate it in the sense of where has it been hurting you? That way you can associate some pain to this belief. Then we can just simply change it. Simply change it. And by asking, what would we want to believe instead? Sincerely, what do we want to believe instead? Well, we want to be in a relationship, so maybe we'll believe that that men are actually great. We might feel in the moment like we have no experiences to prove that men are great or relationships are great. But if we just decide to believe that, we're going to start to notice it everywhere in our life because we have something in our brain called a reticular activating system, RAS for short. What this RAS does is looks for anything in and around you that is important to you or that matters to you or that you're sincerely looking for. And so if you just believe men are great and you decide you want to believe that, you're going to notice all the ways men are being sincerely great and you're going to start to feel it. And now you can begin to get into a relationship. But another way I do this is I will have, if they want to work with the memory, I'm happy with that. So you can do this literally right now as you are watching this video. And you on Instagram, you can do this right now as you're watching me record this for YouTube. What you can do is think about the traumatic memory. But what I want you to do is be like in an empowered stance, like go, yes, yes, yes. Be in this state for a moment. Yes, right? Just feel strong in your body like that. Think about the traumatic memory. And what I want you to do is put a 2-inch thick border all the way around that memory in your mind. Then shrink it down to the size of a quarter and blink it black and white quickly. I don't know if the microphone can pick that up, that sound. So really quickly, black and white, black and white, black and white, black and white, black and white. And in this strong state. Now think back to it now and notice how you don't feel as affected by it. Once you're there, what I want you to do is be in this super empowering state, feeling really good. And I want you to imagine being with a man, either intimately or just relationally, in any way that you want. And imagine yourself thoroughly enjoying your time with this man and him being super kind and loving to you back. And watch that play out in your mind a few times over, about 10 times over, while you feel really good in your body. What that's going to do is create a new emotional association to men, to relationships, to intimacy. And now you'll notice that you're not sabotaging when you're in relationships. It literally happens that fast when your brain makes a new emotional connection about intimacy, about whatever the painful experience in childhood that you had. So this is how you actually heal childhood trauma. If we go back and we just keep talking about it and talking about it and talk, I swear to God, because you're focusing on it and you're remembering all the feelings you had when you were talking about it, and you're imagining it, you're talking about it, your tone of voice has some pain when you talk about it, your body, you're kind of in like a distressed state, you're going to keep associating distress to the memory, stress memory, anxiety memory, anxiety memory, anxiety memory, and we're reinforcing the pain. We want to change what your nervous system emotionally associates to those things, and it's solved. Let me know if this was helpful. I'm super excited to hear back from you.